jacked, bro.
Yeah, I can tell.
I am hyped. Why am I hyped? Man, I went to the gym tonight. I usually go in the mornings. Schedule's all messed up. Texted Ethan, said, hey man, take your time. You know why? Because I'm going to the gym after work. I'm going to do some legs. And then I'm going to come here. I mean, I did legs. I did the Rock Hercules program, which was so many reps I couldn't even keep up. My legs are dead. Literally, I was shaking walking into this building, and I feel fantastic. I've had over 500 milligrams of caffeine. I feel like I'm about to jump out of my skin. I've drank 2 42-gram protein shakes. That's 84 grams, nerds. 84. Jesus. It's still one of my favorite words from my friend Chris McNelly, who just had a conversation with. Anyways, so if you just read the Facebook post, obviously you know that this show, I'm going to dive right into the behind-the-scenes look of myself and Logan Creed from Southern Honor Wrestling last week, still here to the second anniversary show. I want to do this just to start giving a little bit of behind the scenes of my stuff when it comes to independent wrestling the week after each Southern Honor show. So I'll try to stick to this because, hey, this was our bread and butter when we got started. When me and Ethan were doing the 60-minute Broadway on Facebook, it was pro wrestling, getting a lot of views. I was hyping that up, and I know the North Georgia and the state of Georgia and the surrounding areas, the people like to hear a little bit about pro wrestling, and I'll give you the inside scoop on what I can tell you about, which was my stuff and the people that were around me in the back. So let's break down last Thursday. It was Southern Honor Wrestling, still here too, the second anniversary show. It was my second show back since, Corona and all these things happening. We did the Rumble Jack, which, you don't have to be in great shape to do the Rumble Jack. But then, man, you got to jump straight in and you got to do the co-main event with Logan Creed, the 2019 and 2018 Wrestler of the Year. A guy that was in the PWI Top 500, a guy that is signed to MLW, and, a guy that's on his way right now in pro wrestling. So I've always had great matches with Logan, great chemistry with Logan, from PCW to Anarchy and now to Southern Honor. And we'd kind of been building this thing up since I joined Southern Honor. So it was good to finally get to this point to where it was time to have the match. So I didn't know exactly the format of the match, until about the day of. Me and Logan started exchanging some Facebook messages, kind of talking about it, running through it, some thoughts, some ideas. And, I'm the guy that is very easy to work with. I think you could ask any wrestler that I have ever worked, and they would confirm, and if they don't, I would love to know who it is, but they would confirm that I am super easy to work with when it comes to putting together a match and calling spots. You know why? Because I really don't say no. When I was with Jeff G. Bailey, he would speak up occasionally and tell somebody if they had a stupid idea, or if I wasn't doing that because he didn't think that it was, a good spot for me to be in. And after being with him for a couple of years, I've been able to pick up on what I should and shouldn't do, right? And, I'm easy to work with, man. So Logan already had an idea of what he wanted to do. He knows me, knows how I operate, and he had it written down on a piece of paper in Spartan note fashion. So I appreciate that. So we get to the arena. Logan gets there. We talk about it a little bit around the ring. And, the first thing that we did that we were putting together was we wanted to have a great opening spot to the match. We wanted to, get that reaction right off the bat. And we wanted to start hot. We wanted to start real hot. So, the beginning of the match was Logan's out in the ring first. Here I come. I do the Brock Lesnar, jumping around on the outside of the ring. And here comes Logan, hitting the ropes, hitting that big dive on me on the outside. Boom, and here's that first pop. They finally made contact. Logan finally, got up on me after getting speared weeks in, weeks out at every show, getting screwed for the championship, screwed for the Rumble Jack. Logan finally gets on top of me, hits me with that big dive, throws me into the barricade. I take it pretty good. I love getting a little extra contact on the barricade, so I made sure that, I was able to hit it. And with the social distancing at the show, the front row was not right on top of the barricade, right? Like how it is in the majority of shows. So I was actually able to, run myself into that barricade to make it sound really good, and it looked good on camera as well from what I was able to see. And then, I hit Logan with a spear, kind of going a little bit of back and forth, throw him into the ring. And then I go for the jackhammer. He gets out of it. He goes up against the ropes. I hit him with a clothesline. He big mans over the top rope, kind of like the Undertaker, lands on his feet. Now I hit the ropes. Now I hit my dive. Boom. Throw him back into the ring. I'm setting up for the spear. I'm running into him. Bow! He hits me with a big knockout punch, gets on top of me. 1, 2, kick out, and there we go. Now we're off into the match. So I thought the beginning was really good. Thought it was really good. And it was pretty hot. The match we put together was very, I call them a sprint. I think the majority of the wrestling world can, understand what a sprint is. And I'm pretty honest with everyone. I think that my best matches, I guess visually, that come off like on the camera are good sprints when it's with the right person. I always say my favorite match is with Matt Riddle at the Scenic City Invitational. So we took a little bit of that format and also a little bit of like a Brock Lesnar type format where you're throwing bombs back and forth, where it's big move after big move, slowly wearing each other down, and then, getting to the final spot. So the big moves we were hitting, I thought it was good. Logan hit me with all of his best stuff, and I'm kicking out. I hit him with all my best stuff, and he's kicking out. One of my favorite spots to do, and I don't think anybody expected it to happen to Logan, which is, gets that good reaction, is, the superplex and then the float over into the jackhammer, right? That was a really cool spot when we did it against Matt Riddle at the Scenic City Invitational. Got a huge pop when he kicked out because nobody had kicked out of my jackhammer at that point. So, at Southern Honor, nobody's kicked out of the jackhammer yet either. So here we go. Logan's going to the top rope. Boom, boom, boom. I'm getting on top of him. I go up there as well. And here we go. Boom. Superplex. Float over. Wasn't as clean as the Scenic City one, but still pretty clean to be a 6'9", 300-pound guy. We float over. We stay together. And then, boom, we go for the jackhammer. And we hit it. Every time I've given Logan the jackhammer in years past, in matches past, it's been a little sloppy, and we put that on both of us, and we talked about this in the back after the match was over. Logan didn't used to be in this good a shape, so by the end of the match, you got to have a strong core to be able to post for somebody, get your legs up, and to be able to make that jackhammer look good. It takes two people, right? Two people to tango. And unless you're super small, I can get you up there, but Logan's a big guy. So the last time we wrestled, Logan was about 315, 320 pounds. And, I'd get him up and whatever, but it just didn't look as clean. It was kind of almost like a snap suplex jackhammer, right? If you go back and watch Goldberg as he got a little older, like the jackhammer he gave to Rusev, he didn't even hit the jackhammer on the Undertaker. The jackhammers that he gave to Brock Lesnar, they were pretty much just a suplex with him going for a pin. Didn't look great, right? Didn't look like the old school Goldberg jackhammer. So I really wanted this main visual of this match. I wanted the picture of it, and I got it. Is me holding Logan up for a big jackhammer, at least for a couple seconds. And man, we hit that superplex, we hit that float over, and here we go, perfect unison. Boom, Logan's up. He posted perfect. I've got him straight up in the air. I hold him for about 2 seconds, and bam, him with the jackhammer. 1, 2, he kicks out. Oh man, we got that reaction. And even though the Southern Honor faithful absolutely can't stand me because I only do like 3 moves with them, and it drives them crazy, right? That's what they all shout in the stands, and they call me Gilbert and all these things, and they can't stand me. There's something in the air when you hold a guy up that big, and it kind of gets quiet. And it's like the 2 seconds lasted 20 seconds. You could hear people around the ring being like, holy shit, he picked up that guy. So that was a cool moment. And for the faithful there, I got their respect that, hey, man, we're having a decent match. Hit him with the jackhammer. He kicks out. And then we get into more of his stuff. And then eventually he gets to where he hits me with the spear, hits me with the jackhammer. I kick out. And then he hits me with his finish. I no-sell it. hit him with a spear, hit him with another jackhammer that looked almost just as good as the first one, and then 1-2, kick out, and here we got to the part to where I wasn't the most happy with, but in wrestling, you got to tell stories. In wrestling, you got to you got to sometimes you got to have a finish that's just not clean. It's not a not a 1, 2, 3. You gotta set things up. You gotta give people a reason. It's part of wrestling, right? Psychology. So the spot we ended up going with for the finish on this match was the knockout spot. So I hit him with my finish again. He kicks out. So I mount him like a full mount, like UFC style, and it's throwing big punches. So this was probably the weakest part of the match. Larry Goodman said this in his report. Some of the guys I'd talked to, Jeff G. Bailey, as soon as the match was over, came up to me. He was like, "Hey man, were you blown up at the end of the match? Because the finish just didn't look great. Didn't look as good as the match, right?" And that's frustrating because maybe visually that didn't come off as well as I had liked it to. But it is what it is. So I'm on top of it, and I'm hitting him with punches. And the way we did it in the back, the way we wanted it to come off was he was going to have his hands up, and I was going to really hit him, right? I'm really hitting him to get the sound. So I'm hitting him with like the front of my hand, like right here, so I can get that sound, and the sound's coming off of like the backside of his hand. So that's kind of what it sounds like. And I'm kind of hitting like his forearms as well because he's got his hands up like that. So it sounds good. But the crazy thing about pro wrestling is the more real something looks, or the more real something feels, or the more stiff something is, the less visually pleasing it is to like a camera on video or like from a far distance away. So people in the back, maybe they couldn't hear the skin hitting skin, and it just kind of looked like I was just patty caking him. Maybe that's how that came off. But and then it finally gets to the point to where I'm like dropping elbows, and I'm dropping I'm literally hitting him in the skull with my forearm, bow, bow, trying to get that sound. And then the referee jumps in between us, and we got the knockout spot right there, right? The concussion spot. I think Logan actually threw up in a bucket after the match was over and made himself throw up. So, it's cool. So the psychology there for that match is we each hit each other with our best stuff, and nobody could put anybody away. So we both stayed strong in that aspect. But then there's the heel part where I start cheating, and I start throwing open hands, open punches, doing unwrestling related moves to him, and getting up on him and giving him a concussion for a reason for him not to be there for probably the next couple of shows. And so there's the story for that. So the way I look at it, if I had to rate my sprints in the past, I'll probably put this one at number 3. I put me and Matt Riddle at number 1. I put me and Joey Lynch at number 2. And then I'd put me and Logan, this one right here, at number 3. Which, is fine. When I was having those matches with Joey and with Matt, I was wrestling 2 or 3 times a weekend, every weekend. This is my second match of the year. And my first real match since I left wrestling in 2018. My last match was Logan. So I'm happy with it. I think that it got the point across. And, as soon as we got into the back, everyone was happy with it. I actually got a black eye during the match. I don't know if you can see. It's this eye right here. When Logan dove over the top rope at the very beginning of the match, when I went to catch him, his elbow got me in the eye because I was trying to make sure that I caught him. And then his elbow caught me in the eye, and it moused up as soon as it started. So, but other than that, man, I had a blast. I always love getting in the ring with Logan. I love the fact that we have such an intense rivalry in Georgia. But yet, we're such good friends in the back. Like, he is truly one of my friends in professional wrestling. So, but regardless, man, it's a war. Like, people can say wrestling's fake, and I can say wrestling's fake, and, everyone can say it's choreographed or whatever. I was sore, man. I was sore for 3 days after that match. I'm just now feeling a little bit better. Still got a black eye. So, I mean, especially when you got two guys in there that respect each other and that like each other and they're friends, you can – I mean, we're hitting each other in there, right? We're hitting each other with our best shots. We're just not trying to hurt each other, but I mean, we're hitting each other. So, I had a blast, man. That match was fun. I'm looking forward to the match with Joe Black next month. I believe it's November 16th. We can double-check that and put it up or whatever. But, you know, I've got a few weeks to get back in shape for that. I was a little flat, a little soft, a little heavier than I had been in the Rumble Jack going into this past match because I wanted to have the calories in me. I wanted to have the energy in me. I wanted to have the strength to me to hold up Logan. That was the biggest part of that match. I wanted to make sure that I could pick him up. I didn't, because, I mean, that had to happen. So, you know, I didn't look as good as I wanted to look going into that match, but obviously I think the match came across well. Now with Joe's a lot smaller person than Logan. I can cut back down. I can pull some water off, come in a little bit dehydrated, come in a lot leaner for this match, and we can go out there and we can have a hell of a championship match for Southern Honor. You know, this is my first main event back since 2018, man, and I am fired up. All these other matches I've been excited for. The Logan Creed match I was the most excited for because it was like back in the spotlight. But man, I'm a guy that I was the main guy on the poster for many years. When I say many years, for 2 or 3 years in Georgia, each weekend, man. And I was the guy headlining. I was the guy closing the show. I was opening and closing the show with promos, and I was out there doing 15, 20, 25, 30-minute matches every night there for a while. So I'm excited to get back in there and do it again. I'm excited to be back in that spot, and I'm gonna give the fans a show, man. I told Joe, I had a message on Facebook. I'm gonna give him the best version of me, man. I'm going to give him the best version of me because the fans deserve that. He deserves that, this being his first title defense. And, man, I deserve that because it's time for me to get back in there, and hopefully this reignites that passion a little bit. But other than that, Ethan, what the hell is going on in the world?
A lot.
Yeah?
A lot like always. It's 2020, so...
What did we have? What we have last night? We had the debates last night.
We had the vice president debate.
Did you watch it?
I did. We actually, after Rejected, we filmed Rejected or shot Rejected earlier, about an hour early.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Did it at 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And we did that because at least me and Sting wanted to watch the presidential debate.
Yeah.
Tara ended up ordering pizza. We just hung out.
I got you.
Had a good time. This one was a lot different than the first one, obviously. This one was way more presidential, actually. It actually felt like at least Pence and Harris, as two people, weren't like necessarily trying to go after each other.
Yeah.
They were more going after each other's running mate, obviously.
Right.
So it wasn't as like personal attacky like the last one was. Personally, I think Pence won. Harris was deflective. She didn't answer any questions that he posed.
Yeah. Which
is kind of the part of the debate that is more intriguing. Is sure the moderator has certain questions, but if Pence brings up something important that isn't necessarily going to be on those moderator questions, Harris should be at least expected to answer those.
He brought up the most important part.
He brought up all of the important ones.
Yeah.
He was on his A game, and I was not expecting that to be Pence's A game.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, I've always been like a supporter of Trump because I think he's entertaining. I'm pretty open about that. Then actually, over the past 4 years, I've became a Trump fan.
Yeah.
You know, Pence, I never even really looked up.
Yeah.
Haven't watched any of his
stuff.
He's
I think he's the ex-senator from Illinois, like
Indiana, I believe.
Indiana. Yeah. One of those I states that you don't think about.
That smooth talking SOB, he won me over last night. If he runs for president in 2024, he's got my vote.
Yeah, Yeah, like honestly, Pence. What I've what I've always said about Pence is that he is as presidential as Trump isn't at this point.
Right.
Trump is a good president for everything that he's done, right? But he's not the Obama, Clinton, charismatic,
Right.
and like presidential. I mean, everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
But Pence kind of makes up for that. He's almost a nothing person because he's just so bland.
Yeah.
Because Trump is so bombastic, but isn't presidential and cordial,
Right.
especially during debates. And I think seeing that side of Pence, even though honestly Pence was again on his A game, he was kind of the bull in this situation. He was bringing up the big points, which were Harris's record as far as her being the AG in California and putting people away.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been
minor drug offenses
Yeah.
and laughing about it.
Yeah.
And something I realized, I think I found out Harris's tell when she's either talking about something she's uncomfortable talking about or she's lying. She'll give a big smile and laugh, kind of like Hillary.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I think that was something very interesting about last night was like these two people had very different body languages. And Harris, every time Pence brought up something that she was again uncomfortable about or didn't want to talk about, she would start moving. She would shake her head no or shake her head yes necessarily.
Yeah.
Because he brought up I hate that I forget her name, but the woman that died that was murdered
Yeah.
by
ISIS.
Yeah. And it looked like she didn't want to talk about it, but she was saying yes when he was talking about it and saying like everyone here is hurt by that.
Right.
And so watching even Pence when she started talking about more of on Trump, because honestly again, Pence is a nothing person.
Yeah.
And he's the perfect vice president because he's only doing things that he's been told to do, and he's doing them at least decently well.
Well, he said, "I'm a loyal soldier."
Exactly. And when Harris brought up Trump or something like that, he would look over to her or he would nod. And those were the only times that were like, he may have given a tell of like frustration or like annoyance. But him bringing up the Green New Deal, or well, he didn't bring it up, but going on it,
Yeah.
talking about it, talking about fracking and all this stuff that like
Packing the court.
That was the huge one.
That was the biggest part.
And she didn't answer it.
Nope.
And
I thought
that's very telling.
Her answer to that was confusing to me, because she said, "You want to talk about packing? I'm talking. I'm speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to talk about packing? Let's talk about how 50 judges that have been appointed,
all of them white.
All of them are white. Not one of them is black.
So.
Alrighty.
Okay. Like, and
well, I mean, 100. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, what's the point there?
Yeah. Are you expecting me to just put in an ethnic judge if they're not fit for for one of the biggest, like below the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, and just the lower courts of the Supreme Court? They're important, almost more so than the Supreme Court, because they're the last court that it has to hit before it hits the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, like again, meritocracy is what America is built on. We don't just say, "Oh, you're this color, your creed." We don't care about that. But Harris does, and Biden does, because the far left does.
Right.
And I was talking to Rebecca. I don't know if you've ever met Rebecca.
I don't know.
But she is evidently very liberal.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sting had a decent talk with her, just talking politics. And I realized that, and she's older. She's probably, I don't want to say this and her get mad at me, but she's maybe upper 40s.
Right.
She's a little bit older than my mom, not a lot.
Yeah.
But she's liberal, and I found it very fascinating of how much she didn't know about what Trump's done and what his record is. She brought up, oh, he was friends with David Duke, and I said, well, no, he's famous, and David Duke is also in a bad way infamous. Well, he is infamous. He's in a bad way famous.
Right.
And and so sure he may have rubbed shoulders with him at some point, just like he rubbed shoulders with Epstein. But it doesn't mean that he agrees with somebody. I have a friend that I know for a fact is a little bit more intolerant than I'd like to admit.
Right.
And well, I say friend, more of an acquaintance, but doesn't mean I agree with him. I can still be friends with him or buddies with him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but that doesn't mean I agree with him, nor do I want him to be right about anything.
Right.
So it just I don't know. Last night was very, very interesting for me.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, a lot to unpack.
Rambled a little bit there, but
I know I know that no presidential election is won based off of the vice presidential debate, obviously. But I thought it was interesting because Kamala, whatever her name is, Mamala, if Biden wins, like, she's our next president.
mm-hmm.
Like where Pence is talking about being a loyal soldier for Trump, she talks about being an equal partner with Biden. Like, it's also her presidency. It's like, no, excuse me, but you lost. Like, you're coming in second place. Like, she's acting like she is kind of the main one over there in the Democratic Party.
Well, she is, and that's what's very telling about their plan of action this year is Biden should, upon all metrics that the Democratic Party is trying to base themselves on, people of color, younger people, all of these things, even to the fact that he's a guy. Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard should have been the nominee. Either one of them.
Yeah.
Because they're both younger. They're both, I think, people of color. I don't know Tulsi Gabbard's.
She's like, she's not. She might be like Hawaiian, Polynesian.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But Tulsi Gabbard or Kamala Harris, either one of them, I would have been okay with over Joe Biden. Now, do I think that Kamala Harris would have won? No. I don't think that she will this year either, but that's the thing. They've got Joe Biden as their nominee. Joe Biden, who was the vice president for our previous president, who, upon all metrics since he was out of office, people have said, wasn't the greatest president that we've ever had. He was historical, obviously, for very obvious reasons, but he didn't do anything that he was saying he was going to do. And one thing that he has his namesake on,
Trump did.
Well, no. Obamacare.
Oh.
Obamacare, it didn't do what people thought it was going to do, and they rushed it in a brief attempt to make history again.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't see why Biden is getting as much support as he is. What's funny is, just yesterday was the first time me and Sting had ever seen a Biden-Harris sign. We were just driving through Chattanooga, and we saw one in a neighborhood. I was just like, that's interesting. It's the first one I've ever seen.
Yeah, we had that conversation. I think we've talked about that on here. I've seen like a bumper sticker on a Subaru Outback, and I've seen, which is telling.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that same Subaru Outback, by the way.
And I've seen one sign, and I've seen like one hat.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is Tennessee.
It's Tennessee. It's North Georgia. So, of course, we're probably not going to see as many. But even people that I know in Iowa, which is technically a battleground state, people I know in Idaho, which is up in the air most times, although it does lean more conservative, I believe. I haven't heard anything about these signs or anybody supporting Joe Biden.
Right.
So it's just, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going.
Megyn Kelly, you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, so, obviously Fox News, the Megyn Files.
Yeah.
She got off of everything during the Roger Ailes deal, the sexual harassment claims and all that. Anyways, so I guess she probably conservative or like center-right.
Yes.
she's got a podcast out now that's very fresh,
Yes.
as in like 2 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
The Megyn Kelly podcast, and I've listened to every episode of it so far. Now my favorite news source.
Oh yeah.
Like she's had Ben
She's
Shapiro.
not bad.
She's had Ben Shapiro on. She's got Owens
Candace
on
Owens, yep.
tomorrow, and she has people on from the left and the right, like far left, far right,
Yeah.
and then she has like center left, center right, moderates, independents. Like she has everybody on, and she just has decent conversations. But that I think more people need to go.
From what I've heard, is like a more political focused Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Like she'll talk to anybody.
Yeah,
They'll talk about whatever.
it's 1 hour.
But it's political.
It's 1 hour. It's got 2 ads.
Yeah.
She tries to break it up into 3 segments,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very quick hitting podcast. It's going to it's already like a number 2 podcast in the world.
Yeah, of course. So she was actually on. She Skyped into Steven Crowder's
I saw that.
vice president stream.
I heard about that.
And that's how I was reminded of Megyn Kelly and heard about
Right.
this. Yeah, no, I personally like I've never really cared for Megyn Kelly, especially when she was on Fox,
Yeah.
because of how like mainstream media
Yep.
just portrays people. I'm sure like Anderson Cooper, if I saw him just like like a normal dude, I'd be like, oh, it's Anderson Cooper, but like I wouldn't think of him as Anderson Cooper.
Right.
Or even like Trevor Noah. Like there's something about when you get dressed up and you're cleaned up and you've got packed on makeup and all
Yeah.
this and that and the bright lights. There's something about you that I just inherently don't like.
Yeah.
And I think seeing somebody out of that, it's just like, oh, they're just a normal person. They may have views totally antithetical to the ones I have, but
Right. No, I'm with you, man.
Yeah,
But check her show out. It's pretty good.
I will.
It's really good.
I was planning on listening to it.
Pretty
tonight.
unbiased. So I appreciate it. What else happened?
Just a thought that I had
Yeah.
just now with you saying that unbiased. Isn't it interesting how you can have a lot more people that are conservative leaning at the very least, that are very open and like they'll just listen to anybody. They'll give anybody the time of day. But the people that are liberal, or at least far liberal,
Right.
won't even. They want you to shut up.
So I'll say this: center right people can agree to disagree. Any left person cannot.
That's
And
what I found.
And it's frustrating. It's very frustrating, because it's outside of politics too. It's even like with sport teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's with TV shows. It's with a movie. It's with everything.
I think it's interesting, and maybe it's just because of this year that I've always been into politics. And they're fascinating to me, but this year I've seen the lines being drawn, and it's interesting to me. Could there be like a psychological reason for your views? Like, I don't think necessarily like genetics or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think like the psychological profile of some people put them into one of the two camps.
Yeah.
I think that's very interesting.
Well, think about this. Let's just a little study on me, right?
Yeah.
The whole Marco stunt thing.
Yeah.
The comment. I guarantee you, if I went back and looked at the comments on Twitter and on Facebook and everybody that attacked me, everyone that had something negative to say about that is not voting for Trump.
I feel like that's true.
I guarantee you.
Because, and that's just cancel culture in general.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the right and even center people are just like, yeah, maybe they're kind of a shitty person, but maybe we shouldn't take them down.
Yeah.
Like that's not necessarily something I'm gonna back up, because everyone has a freedom of speech. Everyone has the freedom to do
Everyone's
whatever.
done something stupid.
Oh yeah. Honestly, the more we get going, like the more people that watch this show, the more people that saw my face on that episode that I did. There's a part of me deep down that maybe it's just my anxiety from all these years, but there's something like, what if somebody finds out X, Y, and Z? Like, I've never done anything dumb enough to like be canceled, but what if somebody finds something that they want to cancel?
Yeah.
And maybe it's, again, an irrational fear. There's nothing for me to get canceled for, but there's always that like inkling.
Well, it's even like what is canceled. Like usually getting canceled just is a bigger rise to stardom.
I feel like it at this point it is because there's such a anti-cancel culture movement for people.
Let's look at even let's talk about The Rock. So The Rock endorses Biden.
Yeah.
Cool. The Rock loses 21 million Instagram followers overnight.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess
Okay.
what his post was today? This is how it's already hit that V shape. He is now the most followed man in America.
Yeah. Now, and that's kind of a weird way of looking at it because of who The Rock is, and the reason he was canceled in the first place. And it works both ways because of the reason you're talking about. It's people. If you take a political side, you're going to lose people that are against whatever political side you took, but you're going to gain usually more people that you are now agreeing with that position. So there were probably a lot more left-leaning people that were like, oh, I didn't care about The Rock, but I'm going to blindly follow The Rock now.
Yes. So think about that. Yeah, he lost 21 million people. He already had like 100 and something million followers.
Yeah.
So he loses 21 million people. He lost 21 million hard-headed conservatives, far-right conservatives.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The QAnons. He lost those guys. But the other conservatives, like me.
And me. They're just like,
we're like,
okay.
He did that? That's cool. Whatever. I'm
kind of annoyed.
Like,
I'd rather him just not have said anything.
Bought his other shoes. It just came out. I mean, it's not going to bother me. But the liberals, who all of them, the entire left-hand side of it was like, oh, The Rock, I didn't know he was a Biden fan. Click follow. So now he probably gained 50 million followers just
He's
based
sitting
off
at
that
200
alone.
million right now.
Yeah, he was
It's
over 200
crazy.
million and over 300 million total on all social media platforms.
It's crazy.
The most followed man in America.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's
So
The
he's
Rock.
gonna be the president.
He needs to be. He
He very well could do it.
And that's the thing. Like with this Biden endorsement, I'm afraid that he's going to, just because I don't want him to fall into that left side.
I think he'll run independent.
I think he will too, because I know he's smart.
He-
We all know he's a tactical genius when it comes to public.
Yes.
What his outlook is in the public's eye and all that stuff. So I think running independent is the way to go, just because, like, hey, he if he takes a side, he's going to lose a lot of people.
Right.
Like, you cut your fan base doing that.
Yeah.
And if with The Rock being as famous as he is, 300 million people worldwide, there's the key. There's 300 million people worldwide that are going to vote, that would vote for you, because they follow you on Instagram.
How many people are in America?
There's only 300 million.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, a little bit. which of course you do have to take into account. This is the entire world,
I know.
He is a worldwide star.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge star in China.
oh yeah.
I mean, like, he is like one of the top. Like,
But
he's.
do the Chinese even have Instagram?
I don't know, man.
I don't think they do.
Do they not?
I don't know. There's no telling.
Dude, there is no telling.
But no, like, yeah, The Rock, he's smart enough. He's not dumb, and he's good enough to run independent and actually win.
He's like a that sounds stupid, like a juiced up version of Barack Obama as far as like presidential.
Oh yeah,
Like Barack's a very good speaker, but
Mhm.
he's not a rock speaker. Like
no.
like there's just something about that guy.
Could you imagine the debates? And that's the thing too. So if he runs independent, that would be the first time we have a third person, at least televised, in a debate with the other two parties.
Listen, okay, so you know what a pop is, right, in wrestling? Like
Oh
when
yeah,
you get a reaction.
when you get a reaction.
I can see it now. Whether it's 4 years from now, 8 years from now, 12 years, 16 years from now, I don't care. Hopefully it's before he's like, I think if he ran, he'd want to run before he, like, the next 4 years will be the time to go. Because when he was out, he'd still be in his 60s and could still do movies. He's still do movies. Anyways, could you imagine if, let's just say, Kamala's over here, she's about to say something, Mike Pence is over here, they both say something stupid, and he asks the question, he's like, so Kamala, do you think that it would be smart to pack the courts with all Democrats, and she goes to speak. He goes, "It doesn't matter what you think." I would
Raw.
I would lose my mind.
God.
And if he ends the debate with, "If you smell what the Rock is cooking," oh my God.
It's a campaign slogan already.
Yeah.
If-
Bite Rock and Jocko. Can you smell what they're cooking?
Mr. Johnson, sir, I don't know if you're listening, and maybe you are within the next 4 years when you run for president. But if you do,
You're
please,
endorsed by the
You're
Chat with
endorsed
Gunner.
by Chat with Gunner,
No
but we would
doubt.
also love to be on your campaign team.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on the campaign team.
Oh man,
Bro, I would be at every rally.
every single one of them. He probably wouldn't start off with you on his campaign trail, but at some point he'd be like, I have seen that guy
Everywhere.
every time
Yeah.
I'm out. He is in the front row, and I
Yeah.
looked at him every time. He's in.
I'm going to start saving money now so I can have enough money just to live off of when the Rock starts running for
You
president.
probably should, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's huge.
I'm just get an RV and follow him around.
Oh God, we just do the podcast on the road. We just do the podcast live from
Yeah.
every rally.
Chat with Gunner every day, like the Megyn Kelly show. I'm gonna start going on Ben Shapiro's show, Candace Owens' show. I'll just be on all of them.
Yeah.
Talking about the Rock.
Forget it.
Because I don't know if there's another person out there that has studied him. Like all these other people that have studied all these other like presidential candidates, they got me. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
When it starts talking about the Rock, bro, we'll go back to elementary school. We'll go back to the stomping grounds. We'll go back to his family tree. I have stalked this man in every way, you could think of. To like his manager, his ex-wife, his kids, like his brother-in-law, his personal trainers, all his nutritionists.
You have a
His-
problem.
Yeah, dude. $7 entertainment, all of them. The media people, the producers, the writers, the creators.
You have a problem,
I've
sir.
stalked them all. I am Team Rock.
That's concerning.
It is. I would be the best choice to be
For a VP?
Not the VP, but to be. I would be in, like, okay, so like Trump has his family involved.
yeah.
I would be in the White House.
Adopt me.
Yes, like I would need to be in the White House. Who else is he gonna work out with in the White House?
Oh my God, you could be his Kayla McKinney. You
Yeah.
could be his press secretary.
I could be.
Just
I'm like,
come
know your
out.
role and shut your mouth. Nope, it doesn't matter what you think. The Rock is going to be in Gettysburg doing a presidential address if you smell The Rock is cooking. Like, bro,
God.
we would open up. We'd do our first campaign, like where
Yeah.
he says he's going to be president, like where he puts his name in the hat.
Yeah.
Would be at the University of Miami, the U. We'd take it back to his college. We would take it to the U. That's what we would do. We'd go straight
Would
to
he
Miami.
would he do it as a graduation like commencement speech? Like he would do a graduation speech
No.
and then
No. We'd
all
need
of a
more
sudden-
people than that.
Oh.
We'd need more people than that. We'd have to go to the Orange Bowl. We'd have to go to the football stadium.
He just walks out at halftime.
The XFL is starting up
Oh,
in
jeez.
2022. So
The championship of the
in
XFL.
2022, we're going to have a game in Miami. We're going to have the championship game in Miami, home of the U. And when we're giving the speech at the beginning of the game, I'm going to introduce him, the people's champ, the most electrifying man in politics today. And he's going to go out there and he's going to announce that he's running for president. And
So-
that I am his Speaker of the House.
a little Speaker of the House would be his VP.
Yeah, that's right. I'm his,
So-
what is it? Was it secretary? The
Secretary of Press Secretary.
press secretary.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
And that's not like a cabinet job. That's just like you've been hired as press secretary. You just get to talk to people all day
Yeah,
about him.
That'd be great.
You're
I'm
At
the
this
most.
point-
I'm the most qualified person in the United States to do that. Outside of like anybody in his
inner
anybody
circle.
already on his team, I am the most qualified outside representative of the Rock.
Outside of the people that you have stalked, you
Yes.
are the most qualified.
Yes.
I
The fact that I could literally walk into his group of friends and be able to have conversations with them based off what I already know.
that's concerning.
I could jump into the conversation.
I feel like if anything, either The Rock is going to respect this episode, or he's going to be like, put that guy on a list. I never want to see him in my life.
Well, I'm not crazy, but I'm just saying, like, I've always said, like, if I ever got the opportunity to, like, meet him, I think we'd be best friends.
That's a fair thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to stalk, dude, or like, be weird, or like, hey man, look in your blinds. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. But like, when you're around people and you like to talk to people and you kind of like to be around like same-minded type people.
Yeah.
I just feel like, first of all, I'd outwork you in the weight room.
You can't say
Yeah,
that.
you're more jacked than me. You're 1,000,000,000% more jacked than me. But hey, man, you're old.
You can't say that.
Yeah, you're a little bit old. So hopefully you're a little bit older. And I'd outwork you. Hey, man, you could sit here and you could say, there's no way. Well, listen, pal. I know your joints are hurting. I know they are. You're wearing wraps when you're working out. In Instagram pictures, I see it. It hurts. I get it. You don't want.
You're such a stalker.
You don't want to squat anymore. You're not doing those heavy squats, man. I get it. That's probably smart. I should probably stop. I'm just saying, man to man, mano a mano, 1-on-1, you versus me, I would die before I'd let you beat me at anything, and that would gain his respect.
I feel like I could respect you saying that right now.
Yeah, like he says, I'm the hardest worker in the room. You are, because I'm not in that room, Rock. But you need that.
This is such a shoot.
When you run for president and you're on the campaign trail and you're tired and you're only getting 2-3 hours of sleep and you've got little pop-up iron paradises all over the country and you need somebody to go in there and push you and your personal trainer can't be there. Nope. Why? Because your personal trainer is married to your ex-wife, right? Your manager, Danny. So he might not be there all the time. He might not be in every state. But you could hire somebody right now. You could hire somebody that knows everything about you, everything you want the people to know. I'll tell them exactly what you want them to hear. And I'll be in the gym, and I'll whoop that Brahma boy ass, boy, all day, every day. And we'll get jacked together, and we'll become president, vice president, whatever. We'll be a Rock White House. And I'll be there, bro, all day. I'll be there every morning, 4 o'clock, I'll be there. 5 o'clock, I'm there. 6 o'clock, there, bro.
So
I ain't your trainer. I'm just there to outwork you. So if you outwork me, you'll become president.
Gunner,
I'm all day, bro.
you mentioned this prior just because of the Logan Creed thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to push this episode. I want at least recognition that The Rock has seen this episode.
He should, man. Dude, The Rock is the greatest human on the planet right now.
Yeah. I can't even actually
Like
deny
at this point, if somebody has done something wrong, right? It's out. That man is nearly 50 years old, in the best shape of his life, the top movie star, not even done a movie this year. He's saying the right things. I don't necessarily agree with who he endorsed. However, it is
that
what it is.
doesn't matter.
It is what it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
God. Okay. Can we make a promise?
What's that?
If we find out that The Rock has seen this somehow, I'm buying Terramana and we're drinking it.
I've got 2 bottles of Terramana that I hadn't even opened, bro.
Well, I'll buy it, and you don't have to waste those 2 bottles.
Yeah, because I'm not opening them.
You're never going to
No,
open those.
why am I going to open them, man? I'm going to leave those up on the shelf, sitting right there beside my Proper 12 whiskey for Conor McGregor. Listen, man, I follow people I like. People that get me hyped, people that get me excited. And Dwayne, you're one of them, bro.
God. Okay, you feel better?
Man,
You
I
good?
should not have worked out before this
You
podcast.
really shouldn't have.
I need to come in here tired like I usually am.
That, or maybe that's the reason The Rock watches,
Maybe.
because you're hyped.
Maybe. I don't even want to stand up. My legs are so tired. It doesn't even, like, the workout I did doesn't even make sense. It's like you start out with 4.
Oh, now you have to mention that you did The Rock's workout this morning.
Well, yeah.
afternoon.
He posted this thing up a long time ago. It's like when he was filming Hercules. And it's probably not like what he did every day, but it was probably like what he did like towards the end of his workout cycle, so it's a little bit harder. It's like it starts out like 4 sets of 25, and then it's like 4 sets of 50, 4 sets of 12, 4 sets of 20, 4 sets of 12, 4 sets of 20. Like, it's just a lot of reps, man, and I hate doing legs. Anyways, Ethan, what time is it? 9 o'clock?
It is 9 o'clock.
All right, let's get at it. Speaking of Rock, Right here, blood, sweat, respect, bro. Hardest workers in the room. Rock, you go back and watch this podcast, you'll see that I wear Project Rock stuff every time. Every time.
I don't think I don't remember one time you didn't.
And it's all different.
Oh yeah, it's concerning.
It means I've got a lot of it. So,
You don't. If he runs for president, you shouldn't even think about donating money to his campaign because you've given him a lot of money.
I've watched every movie in theater that I've been. Well, yeah, every movie I've been in. I think I've seen every movie he's done in theater.
Jeez.
Also, got them all on DVD. Also, if it's on Amazon Prime, ordered it on there too.
Good Lord.
I am a fan, pal. Not weird. A little bit weird. A little bit weird.
It's a little weird.
But
It's concerning.
it is concerning, but a fan none the least.
All right. Well.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
My pre-workout's wearing off. I'm ready to go home.
You are now coming down.
Yeah. I still got to do laundry.
Oof.
We got a long weekend coming up. Marcus's birthday's tomorrow.
Oh gosh.
Big man turns 5.
5.
Got him a sick 12-volt Power Wheel Jeep with suspension on it, LED lights, Bluetooth, and it comes with a remote so I can drive him. Yeah, bro.
What?
It's sick.
That is actually way cooler than everything I've ever heard.
Yeah, it has 3 speeds to it, so you can go like 1.5 mile per hour, 2.5, which is like the 6-volt, or 5 miles per hour.
5 miles per hour is no joke.
Yeah, and Power Wheel.
I've been injured at 5.
Yeah. So, I'm fired up about that. Not fired up about putting it together.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So his birthday's Saturday. We're doing it at the zoo. Hopefully it doesn't rain. It's a stupid hurricane coming through. Probably gonna make it rain.
No kidding.
But
Speaking of, that's one big news, I guess. There's a hurricane coming.
yeah,
I can tell.
buckle down, bro. It looks like it's about to hit Lake Charles again. Unfortunately, like it was going to hit New Orleans, I think, and now I go to this website. It's I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's Ventusky.
Oh, okay.
So Ventu Sky, like VENTU Sky, but it's a very good radar. Like if you ever want to know anything about what's happening within the next 2 weeks in weather, go there and it like you do it. It's like a Google Earth type. It's really cool.
All right. Well.
Yeah, let's get out of here. What episode is this?
40.
40. How about that? Episode 40. So yeah, we recapped Logan Creed match, had a blast with that, and then we talked about the debate and my fetish with The Rock.
Whoa. This thing, the more you talk about it in this episode, the higher and higher in levels it goes.
It's funny.
It's concerning that it was stalking. And now it's
Hey man, I guess you gotta respect people that get out there and get after it. So if you don't respect The Rock, I can't talk to you, because that guy, hardest worker in the room, man. You gotta think he is. I mean, he's doing a lot of things that he doesn't have to be doing. One of them, bringing back the XFL. Thank you. The XFL was balling before coronavirus hit. And that allowed a bunch of guys that I played with at UTC. They were getting opportunities with the XFL, and then it shut down. So hopefully they get those opportunities again, and that's thanks to The Rock.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
See ya. Peace.